Hey, hello, how are you?
Hey,
Right.
good. How are you?
I am well, thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. This is exciting.
Yeah, I mean we're excited. I spent a lot of time at Galeta Marine Lab many years. Um, so they're quite excited that you have a camera back. They have one of those at the lab. Um, it's just that they just had no resources to keep it going. So yeah, on that middle connector, if you unscrew the locking collar, you can pull that dummy plug out. But now that you've pulled it out, just remember the rule. Always grease the female before you put it back in.
It's still actually here.
Always grease the female before you put it.
It's very important. It's in the user manual in bold letters and italics. Just make sure you remember that. Never grease the male.
So
So hard to say that with a straight face.
yeah. But it's one wire to the camera, right?
That's correct. There's only the blue cable goes in on the left side. And if you pull that dummy plug off the camera's housing, it's a female dummy plug, and it matches the end of the cable.
Left side looking
Yep.
from the center of the camera, or
Yeah, looking at the front of the camera. If you wanted to take all the plugs out, you can. There's no problem at all.
yeah, get the right one. So I'm
Looking towards the camera.
looking
Yeah.
for the camera. So there's between me and the camera, I see the three connectors.
Good. And if you look at them, the left side is your input,
Okay.
and that should be a male 2-pin.
Okay.
Like everything. Like,
Okay.
what's that?
I realized all my I was just filming on our C-Pod, and all the camera batteries are dead. So I came back and had to grab a different one.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't dress up for the occasion. I do apologize.
You're gonna be like super tiny on it.
Okay, good. That's good. I like that. Nice and small. So yeah, on the camera. So the far left.
So the dummy now it's female. So yeah.
That one. So when you deploy the camera, you're gonna have all of those dummy plugs installed and no cable.
Yeah.
And when Connor gets down there, he is going to take the blue cable. He's going to remove the dummy plug from the left-hand connector.
Yeah.
And he's going to try his best not to lose it. And then he's going to grease the female end of the cable, and he's going to plug it into that left-hand connection.
Okay.
Tighten the locking collar. And the systems that we use now, you're going to want to stabilize the cable on the mount in some way. But in the old days, we would have the connection. You had 16 pins instead of 2. And if that connection was at all crooked, or if it wobbled, we would get failure on those pins. Because this one has flexibility and a locking collar, you really don't have to worry about the cable or the connector. It's so easy to make the connection. The only rule is always grease the female. Always make sure that it's connected well. And I showed Dorian, it's in the slides I'm going to send you in a second. If you plug the camera in and it pops out a little bit, the grease escapes. So you just take it back out and re-grease it. You can grease it 100 times. But if you plug it in and before you lock it down, if it pulls out a little bit, the grease gets lost and you have excess seawater in the connector. And 99% of the time it doesn't matter. But it's important to make sure that whoever services this, you must grease the connections, and you must grease them, only the females. And you don't fill the holes up with a syringe. You just put a little bead on your thumb and smear it into the 2 holes. It's really easy with a 2-pin connector. We've never really had a failure with those. The 8-pin connector on the middle is how you were supposed to be powering this when you had a shorter cable. And so that is just not going to be used in this case because you don't need it. And then on the right side is your female 2-pin. And we make the gender different so you can't mess up the main supply from the one on the right. That's your hydrophone. And so that's a really high fidelity hydrophone. And that just gets greased and put in as well. And it is a non-powered hydrophone. So it's very tolerant to there's no voltage on those pins, but you still want to grease them. But in this case, you grease the female on the camera
Okay.
because it's a female.
Yeah.